That's fine, so you're clear to proceed. Just give us a call again as you approach the bottom of the river. Nice and slowly. There's one vessel coming across into Victoria Dock.
Coming, Captain. We're all by the berth. We'll stay off about 10-15 meters.
Okay, and Finn, standing by waiting.
Yes, Alan, that's correct. All the way up to the east end.
East end.
Aberdeen as a city is very noisy, but here it's very quiet. And actually, when it was built, they must have thought, right by the sea, how lovely.
Right, the castle, built by the Burnett family, started to roll at 1553, wasn't complete till 1596. The whole place is built with granite, it was all done by hand. Primarily it's a house, but, back from where it was built for defence. The thickness there of the wall, you can see how thick the outer wall was, you can see at the windows as well how thick it is. Who were we defending ourselves against here? An interesting question. On the map of Scotland, on the bottom you'll notice there's a wee country, it's called England. It was not the English, however, that attacked this castle, but it was a bunch of marauding Highlanders. However, no entry was gained, so nobody has ever got into this castle. Where we are just now, it was a working area. All the ground floor, one of the family would live down at this level. Fire was kept burning here all the time, and all the cooking for the castle was done here. Here was staffed by men. There was no women at all worked down in here. An open fire all day long, you're lugging big heavy pots about, you really are kept busy in here. Initially it was a preparation area, but as the years passed they did away with this. A modern range type thing was installed. They've got plates and things on the wall now. There never was anything like that before. It's the only room in the castle that doesn't have a fireplace. The place really would have been piled up with barrels with salted meat, salted fish. There's ceiling hooks, and you'd hang up great lumps of venison, beef, sort of mutton. A wee dark room, prisoner's holding cell. Now prisoners would be kept in there only for days as men. They were very, very powerful men in the mid-1700s, very, very powerful. They had authority, direction from the King of Scotland for law and order. So anybody committed a crime would be bunged in there until such time as their trial would be held. And that would have been up on the top floor. Things right up the sort of sliding scale to hang in. And then if you were really, really bad, you'd be put in a ship and sent to places like America. Now you tall gentlemen, imagine these two gentlemen, they waving their swords about, they come to the doorways like this, They have to drop the wire. It's only the one door in and out of the castle. Inside it's protected with a big heavy iron gate bolted straight in the granite. You then go up the spiral stairs, and just be aware that granite, it's not a smooth surface, so just watch. Clockwise, the 11th step from the bottom, it's a trip step. That's the idea of it. It's to trip you up. It's slightly deeper than the other one. It's not very big so you can see it. It's just enough that it can cause you to stumble. Now, as I say, cross up on the top floor and you come down another set.
Highland beef is a real niche product. They're a lot smaller than your other beef cattle, take longer to finish.
Got a bit of a wait to get your return from them.
Farmers that do have them, they're crossing them with other breeds such as Shorthorn, Aberdeen Angus. Can be blowing a gale and she'll be grazing out in the middle of that, oblivious to the weather. You know, whereas other breeds of cattle would be cowering together in a corner. They are just really hardy animals. Can live outdoors all winter. After the war, when we were really trying to upscale production of customers today aren't having to pay a lot for their food. Their steaks that they're getting in the supermarkets here are really small. So the processor, that steaks have got to be small, so it's not in the interest of the farmer to produce so big now. The black one is called Penny. She's 3 years of age. Cows when they have their first calf. The yellow cow in the field there, Hazel, and that's her calf this year that's lying on the ground there. That's Ruth. Ruth. So Duchess is 2 years of age. She's one of the best producers I bought as a yearling. She won the show. She was the overall champion. But we just wait till she's fully mature and growing, so we don't stunt. What the judges like about her is her lovely colour. She's got a really dark red colour. She's lovely. She's got nice sweeping matching horns as well. They'll keep growing yet, they'll be fully out. And she's got a sweet feminine head. You don't want it, you want a nice sweet head. the eye. The hair keeps the flies out the eyes in summer. It keeps them from creating infections in our eyes. What they look for, the judge wants nice breadth in the shoulders, good strong shoulders, because that's how they power themselves climbing up the hills. And you want a nice long level top line. That's what they like. They're thinking commercially. Would I make money out? That's where all the prime cuts come from that your steakhouses want to pay big money for. So this is where your ribeye steak comes from. Your sirloin is along here, and your rump steak and your fillet runs along as well. So the better you have here, the more money you'll maximise out your carcasses. We'll never eat Duchess, even when she's no longer producing calves. She will retire gracefully in the herd here. Her dad was called Duke, and I always said that when Duke had a really special female, we'd call it Duchess. And with a breed society, and you can trace their ancestry going back hundreds of years, you know they're pure, genetically pure Highland cattle. Popular in the slow cooker. It's got real depth of flavour, makes a lovely gravy. Foreman and Banchory come out to see the cattle, they smell them as they're hanging in the chiller, and find out what cuts they're for.
They've invested over £3 billion, over doubled the recoverable reserves, increased the production rate by 50%.
Got a couple of more decades to look forward to. And now you've got Forties as one of the most outstanding fields in the North Sea.
The what, the why, the when, the how, the where, the who of Orkney, that is my job, ladies and gentlemen. As we leave charming port of Stromness, there is no finer place to amble. We are 59 degrees north. We are a very long way north. In the winter I can look through my kitchen window, see the sun rising, and then 6 hours later I can watch it set from the same window. Immediately we're going to go up over the top of a hill. There are 3 things at which Orkney is particularly good. We're good at grass, we're good at stone, and we're good at wind. We get a gale on average every 13 days, and the local joke is that when the wind stops blowing, the people fall over. Roughly speaking, 20,000 folk live across these islands, and for every one of us, they're number 4 beef cattle. This is what keeps us going. Angela was remarking on how calm the seas are on the Corinthian, but it's not ever thus. Water is always part of the Orkney story. It can be very wild, very windy. The British found and adopted Grand Harbour of Scapa Flow as the base for the Royal Navy. It provides us a strategic location to the German threat. 4 islands, 4 ways in, 4 ways out. What do you do about those? Sink block ships. That works perfectly well. The war to end war. And into that void there strode a maniac, a Corporal Hitler. Thus Mr. Churchill, in his account of the Second World War, 1917, block ships. They're actually a nuisance. There were people who had made a living out of the Silver Darlings. Turn one of those ships through 90 degrees, so suddenly there's an opening in one of the channels. There are gaps. The Germans can now come and go. On the 8th of October 1939, U-boat number 47 slips away from his moorings, goes through the Kiel Canal, comes across the North Sea. It's a moonless night, comes to the surface and creeps into the harbour. Bow torpedoes again, he fires. 5 or 10 minutes, 1 o'clock in the morning. Her Majesty's ship, the Royal Oak, is on her way down. So now we cross an unusual bridge. Brackish water on the left, sea water on the right. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a comfort break here.
Stained glass. There's a vestry behind, and the prisoners would light a candle behind the windows to make them kind of glow. Lovely Trompe-l'oeil effects. Angels on each side, the symbols of the four Gospels. He based it on a small card his mother had given him, which he carried throughout the war. The left of the entrance, you'll see the holy water stoop and the stems that is made from a heavy vehicle screen. By September 1944, the Churchill Barriers were completed, so the Italians were no longer needed in Orkney. And my grandfather, and he in turn promised them that though the camp would be demolished, the chapel would be kept by the people of Orkney. Well, it happened to be a married man, and he was a Catholic.